Breaking into houses at night, these intruders are after something other than the valuables. They are after people.
Hello?
Eerie shadows, frightening homeowners,
Oh my gosh. This thing is looking weird.
or eerie figures disturbing their peace. Hang on for the most uninvited paranormal guests caught on camera. One night in Managua, Nicaragua, a groundskeeper was just going about his usual routine when something completely freaked him out. As he walked down the street, a pale figure suddenly appeared out of nowhere. He froze in fear. Before he could react, the thing rushed past him and slipped behind an old stone pillar. His mind immediately went to La Llorona, the terrifying ghost from Mexican folklore. Even after it was over, he couldn't shake the feeling. If that thing was real, what else could be lurking out there in the dark? Pale intruder. The moment night falls, locking your windows isn't just a habit, it's a necessity. A home security camera captured a woman gathering clothes from the line, unaware of what lurked nearby. As she turned, a pale, hunched figure crept past the open door. It moved on all fours, its eerie, almost see-through skin making it look anything but human. Chilling, right? Netizens say it was the legendary Rake, a creature known for its unnerving movements and terrifyingly thin body. Whatever it was, one thing's certain. This woman wasn't alone that night, and neither were we. Not just rats. The homeowners kept hearing strange noises in the attic. Probably just rats, they thought. But the moment they cracked open the attic door, they were left stunned. A face, pale, with black, soulless eyes staring right back at them. It didn't look human. It didn't even look alive. Whatever it was, it had been living up there. Watching. Waiting. The second they locked eyes with it, survival instincts kicked in. They ran fast, because when something that unnatural is hiding above your home, staying isn't an option. Massive bug or myth? During a casual basketball game in Nicaragua on January 9th, 2021, one guy caught something terrifying on camera. A huge insect, way bigger than anything normal, was crawling on a rooftop. It had a massive head, countless legs, and a body that didn't look natural at all. It felt like something out of a legend. Before anyone could get a closer look, it scurried out of sight, disappearing over the edge. Whatever it was, it left everyone watching completely speechless. Mysterious roof jumper. A woman was enjoying a quiet evening when things took a creepy turn. She noticed a strange creature outside her house. Its body was long and oddly shaped with a short tail, and it moved in a way that just felt off. Then, out of nowhere, it jumped onto the roof and disappeared. It never came toward her, but that didn't make it any less terrifying. Even after it was gone, she couldn't shake the feeling. Just goes to show, you never really know what might be lurking around, even in the safest places. Chase begins. A guy decided to check out an abandoned building, but he wasn't ready for what he found. While walking through the roofless rooms, something appeared in a window. A humanoid figure with rotting gray skin and horns. It didn't just stay there. It started following him. Then, out of nowhere, it let out a terrifying scream. That was it. He ran for his life, and the video ended. No one knows what happened after that, but one thing's clear. He won't be going back anytime soon. Secret resident. A man kept noticing food disappearing from his kitchen, but had no clue why.
So I kept on finding food missing in my apartment that I knew I wasn't eating.
So he set up a hidden camera, and what he saw was beyond shocking. In the middle of the night, a woman silently climbed down from the attic, moving as if she knew she had to stay undetected. She raided his fridge, took what she needed, and slipped back into her hiding spot. Turns out she had been secretly living in his home for a year. After seeing the footage, he called the police, who arrested the intruder. Escape in fear. A group of friends wandered into an old, abandoned building, expecting dust and broken furniture. Not this. In one of the rooms, they spotted a thin, eerie figure with hollow black eyes and sickly green skin. The second their flashlight hit it, the creature shrieked and staggered back, as if the light burned. That was all the warning they needed. Without a second thought, they turned and ran, not daring to look back. Whatever that thing was, they wanted no part of it. Unseen terror. Back in 2008, a group of friends set out to explore an old, abandoned house. They had no idea what was waiting inside. As they pushed the door open, something unnatural came charging at them, fast and low to the ground. It moved on all fours, its eerie shape barely visible in the dim light. Panic set in as it got dangerously close. Without wasting a second, they turned and ran for their lives. Whatever it was, they weren't sticking around to find out. Forest mystery. A man was out in the woods at night when he saw something that stopped him cold. A thin, creepy figure crouched on the ground, eating something. Its movements were all wrong, like it wasn't human. The second it noticed him, it froze, then took off into the trees fast. Way too fast. For a moment, it looked like it might come back, but then it disappeared into the dark. Now tell me, guys, after seeing that, would you ever go into the woods at night? Asylum horror.
Holy shit, let's go, fucking this way.
A group of urban explorers was checking out an old, abandoned asylum when they saw something that made them run for their lives. Whatever it was, they didn't get a clear look. Fear took over fast.
Holy shit, let's go, fucking this way.
Their shaky camera caught quick glimpses of a creepy figure before they took off. No one knows what they saw, but one thing's for sure. They weren't about to stick around and find out. Possessed doll.
There it is.
The owner had a weird feeling about the doll on his rack, so he started recording. As the camera rolled, the doll suddenly tilted its head, like it knew it was being watched. He became stunned. Was it just his imagination? But then, he replayed the footage, and there it was. Proof. The doll moved on its own. Or worse, Something inside it did.
There it is.
That was enough for him. No second chances. He had to lock it away or get rid of it for good. Creepy hands.
Stop!
Late at night, while working, a man heard a soft tapping. Thinking someone was outside, he got up to check, then froze. 2 hands were knocking on the door.
Leave! Stop!
But there was no body attached, just the hands. He was stunned when he switched on the lights, but just like that, the hands were gone.
Stop!
And D. That's when it hit him. He was never actually alone. Something or someone had been there the whole time, watching. Backyard visitor. You won't believe what this camera caught. A small gray alien in a black suit was spotted in someone's backyard. But here's where it gets crazy. The homeowner didn't run. Instead, he walked right up to it and stopped. Then, the alien placed its hand on his forehead. And after a few seconds, the man just turned around and walked away, like nothing even happened. What did the alien do to him? That's the real question. Walking legs or ghostly trick. A CCTV camera picked up something downright creepy on a dark street. The footage showed a figure walking by, except it had no upper body, just legs, and the way it moved, completely off, like it was struggling to walk right. I'll say it's a restless spirit, but some viewers think it's just a glitch. A few even claim it's a prank. Whatever the truth is, one thing's for sure. If I saw that in real life, I'd be running the other way. Something's watching. Imagine chilling at home and spotting a face on your roof. But it's not human. That's what happened to this guy. The thing looked creepy, almost evil. He ran upstairs to check, but it was gone. Just when he thought he was seeing things, the face popped up again, even clearer. The video ended right there, leaving me freaked out. Was it a cryptid, Bigfoot, or something way worse lurking up there? You decide.
What in the fuck?
Basement terror.
What are you doing in my house? What are you?
In 2014, a woman in Pennsylvania captured something horrifying in her basement. A massive creature standing on 2 legs with glowing eyes and a wolf-like face. This thing wasn't just big, it was towering, somewhere between 6 to 8 feet tall, with a muscular build that looked straight out of a nightmare. The woman was so terrified she broke down crying, unable to believe what she had just seen. Some think it wasn't there by accident. Maybe the dogman chooses who to appear to, and not for a good reason. Shapeshifter captured. In India, a group of friends was driving home when they noticed a man walking toward them. At first, nothing seemed unusual, until, right before their eyes, he suddenly morphed into a dog. It wasn't a trick of the light. They had just witnessed a shapeshifter. Legends tell of beings that can shift between human and animal forms to mislead or terrify those who cross their path. The moment they saw it, panic set in. They hit the gas and sped away. Vowing never to take that road again, no matter the time of day. Crying ghost.
Hello?
A YouTuber in the UK who thought it would be a great idea to explore an old, abandoned church hidden in overgrown weeds. Classic horror movie setup, right? The second he stepped inside, the silence felt off.
Creepy looking church.
Then came the noises. Weird tapping sounds echoed through the place. He figured, hey, Probably just pigeons. But then, things got real. A woman's cry broke through the air. Not just any cry, full-on mourning. And when he looked, a gray figure was just sitting there in the pews. That's when the panic hit. He screamed and bolted.
Hello?
People online argued. Was it staged? Fake? But honestly, in a place like that, anything's possible. Ghostly apparition. Driving down a dark road is already unsettling, but imagine seeing something so creepy it makes you want to turn back immediately. That's exactly what happened to this guy. As he kept going, he suddenly noticed a figure standing in the middle of the road, draped in white, completely still. It didn't move, didn't react, just stood there like it was waiting for something. That alone was enough to send him into a full panic. Without wasting a second, he spun the car around and floored it back home. Whatever that thing was, he wanted no part of it. Bizarre creature. In 2009, a man exploring an empty house in India came across something straight out of a nightmare. A towering creature with the head of a cow and the body of a man. Its dark, hairy figure stood motionless, almost radiating an unnatural presence. Just when he thought it couldn't get any weirder, the creature slowly raised a hand and pointed right at him. Was it a warning? A threat? No one knows. Sinister presence. This person heard a weird noise coming from the kitchen, so he went to check it out. What he saw was insane. The window was open, and some kind of creepy, alien-like creature was slowly crawling inside. Its eyes were gleaming in the light, and its dark, veiny body was like something out of a sci-fi movie. The question is, was this thing really an alien, or was it just some kind of crazy prank? Either way, it's pretty freaky. Did this creature really come from outer space, or was it just someone in a costume? The video is pretty convincing, but you have to wonder what's really going on. Guest uninvited.
Oh my god, there it is, Mike. It came back. Oh my gosh.
So this guy's porch was deserted at night, but then he heard weird noises coming from outside and went to check it out. That's when he saw it. A humanoid figure just chilling on his porch, looking all skinwalker-ish. He was totally freaked out, so he called the cops. As he was on the phone, the figure slowly moved back into the darkness, disappearing.
Oh my gosh.
But then, it reappeared, only to vanish once again. This time, however, it didn't come back. It felt like a warning, and the homeowner was left wondering what might have happened if it had come back.
Oh my gosh. This thing is looking weird.
Home alone. Two girls were home alone when one of them noticed something strange in the doorway. If you pause the video at just the right moment, you'll see it. A young girl in old-fashioned clothes, floating mid-air, just watching them. Creepy, right? One of the girls, totally unaware, yelled at the TV, and just like that, the ghost vanished. But the girl holding the camera wasn't about to let it slide. She followed, only to see the figure reappear at the top of the stairs, staring down at them. That was it. They ran outside. But when they turned back, the ghostly figure was already at the upstairs window. Then, suddenly, downstairs. That was enough. They screamed and ran for their lives. Midnight horror. Cemeteries are already creepy, but at night, that's a whole new level of scary. And this guy thought it'd be a good idea to walk through one until he came face to face with something straight out of a nightmare. Tall, skinny, and weirdly long-limbed, this thing slowly crept out from behind a tree. Its pale, bald head and sunken eyes looked exactly like those stories about the rake. But isn't that just a made-up creature? If so, then what was this thing doing there? Maybe they're not as fake as we thought. And thanks to this guy's footage, we might not be able to ignore it anymore. Spooky guest. It was a quiet night, and he was just relaxing on the couch, watching TV. Out of nowhere, his doorbell camera sent a notification. It was already midnight, but he checked anyway, and what he saw stopped him cold. Some strange figure was standing right at his door, staring straight into the camera with an odd face and wide eyes. Then, just like that, it turned around and walked off into the night. Real or not, that was enough to make him keep every light in the house on till morning. Legless Stalker. These two CCTV clips are seriously creeping people out. Outside a home in China, a dark, shadowy figure stepped out from behind a light pole. It moved strangely, and as it got closer, things got even weirder. It had no hind legs and was way too big to be any normal animal. Viewers say it was a cloaked figure, which is already scary enough, but others think that wasn't a cloak at all, just thick, messy fur. And if that's true, we might be looking at a real-life werewolf. Kitchen Creepster. This guy kept hearing strange noises in his kitchen, so he set up a camera to figure out what was going on. A few days later, he checked the footage, and what he saw was beyond creepy. A shadowy figure peeked out from behind the counter, barely visible, but just enough to freak him out. It made weird breathing sounds, and by morning, there was no trace of it. No footprints, no signs of a break-in. Nothing. So, was it a prank, or did something uninvited sneak into his home? Witch in the air. A man stopped for the night in a house near the woods, hoping to get some rest. But in the middle of the night, strange, eerie screams woke him up. Curious, he pulled back the curtain, and what he saw was terrifying. A witch-like figure hovered above his car, making the creepiest noises. Then, without warning, she dropped down and started moving toward the house. Just as she got closer, the video cut off. No one knows what happened next, but let's hope he got out of there in time. Alien Trespasser.
Yeah, there it is. Whoa, there it is.
Late one night, a man heard strange noises outside. He curiously stepped into his backyard and froze. A small figure with greenish skin and giant black eyes was watching him from the bushes. The second he moved, it ran behind the house and vanished. He searched everywhere but found nothing. Later, he discovered others had reported seeing the same thing. So guys, was it just his imagination? Or is something really out there, hiding in the dark and watching when no one's paying attention? Pensacola Horror. In 2006, a man in Pensacola, Florida unknowingly recorded something straight up bizarre. His camera, pointed at his open door, captured a small, thin figure slowly peeking inside. Its long limbs and odd-shaped head looked anything but human. It crept further in, stepping into the room. Yet the man slept through it all. By morning, nothing seemed out of place. Until he checked the footage. One look, and he knew he'd never leave his door open at night again. Would you? Mexican Encounter. A man in Mexico caught something eerie on his security camera. The footage shows a strange figure lurking near his front door, moving quickly like it was watching him. When he finally opened the door to check, there was nothing. Just an empty, silent night. The figure had vanished without a trace. Was it something not of this world? Or just a weird shadow playing tricks? The video ends right there, leaving everyone guessing. What do you think really happened? Hotel encounter. This guy was checking out of his hotel room. He had no idea something was following him. CCTV footage caught a weird, shadowy figure. Short, stubby, and definitely not normal. It looked like a child at first, but then it just vanished. And let's be real, kids don't just disappear like that. Some think it could be one of those strange shadow creatures people talk about. Sometimes playful, sometimes a little too creepy. Was it just a glitch, or was something really there? Either way, this video has people talking, and honestly, I don't blame them. Parking Crypted. You might think twice before parking alone at night after seeing this. A guy was recording under his car after hearing strange noises. What did he caught? Pure nightmare fuel. A tiny, two-legged creature, definitely not human, ran right in front of him. He was surprised, but still filming. He watched as it scurried under another car, trying to hide. That was enough for him. He got out of there fast. No clue what that thing was, but one thing's for sure. I wouldn't want to run into it near my car. Scary rake. A chilling video from California captured something truly unsettling. An unknown creature lurking in the distance. It was unnaturally tall, unlike any animal ever seen before. The homeowner who recorded it described the figure as something straight out of a nightmare. Online, people speculated that it could be a deformed rake or even some kind of eerie hybrid. Whatever it was, one thing is for sure, knowing that something like this is roaming near your home is enough to haunt anyone's dreams. Drone capture. Drones are great for capturing cool views, not creepy moments like this. While filming, the drone spotted someone standing by a streetlight. Seemed normal until the figure suddenly ducked behind it and disappeared. Just gone. The drone operator freaked out and stopped flying there immediately. To this day, he has no idea what he saw. A ghost? Something else? Either way, he's not going back to find out. Vacations went wrong.
What is that?
This video had been freaking people out online, and it wasn't hard to see why. It started off normal, just some kids laughing and playing on a swing. But in the background, something was off. A pale figure crept closer, staying just out of sight. Then, out of nowhere, a weird noise cut through the air. The kids stopped. They glanced toward the dark woods. And that's when they saw it. A creepy figure just standing there. That was all it took. They took off running. The video cut off, but one thing was for sure. Whatever that thing was, it had been way too close. Mysterious visitors in the backyard. In 2018, a homeowner spotted something unbelievable right in their backyard. Two small goblin-like creatures dressed in tiny clothes. They weren't just shadows or tricks of the light. The creatures stood there for a moment, almost as if observing their surroundings, before quickly vanishing into the darkness. Their clothing raised even more questions. Were they intelligent, or somehow connected to humans? No one knows where they came from or where they went, but one thing's clear. They didn't want to be seen for long. Creepy intruder.
Shower really fast. I need you to go shower.
A mom and her son had just gotten back from shopping and were heading inside their house. As they locked the door behind them, the doorbell camera caught a super creepy guy approaching the house. He started knocking on the door, and you could tell he looked really suspicious and intimidating. It seemed like he had some kind of bad intention, and the mom was lucky to have locked the door just in time. If she had opened it, who knows what could have happened. The whole thing was really unsettling, and just goes to show how important it is to be careful about who you let into your home. Abandoned farmhouse. In a small town, an old house loomed, infamous for alleged possessions. Some brave souls decided to explore, so they installed CCTV cameras to capture evidence. As they entered the house, they sensed something really off. And that's when their cameras caught a glimpse of a creature with glowing eyes, invisible to the human eye. Another camera caught a super tall, thin person walking across the room. It was freaky, and it looked a lot like a djinn. The footage was undeniable, proving that this house was indeed home to a djinn, and it was clear that it wasn't alone. Surprising guest. Late one night, a man stayed inside his house, avoiding the woods nearby. Locals always warned they were home to strange creatures. But that night, he found out they were right. A noise outside his window caught his attention. When he looked, he saw something unbelievable. A massive Sasquatch standing there, its dark eyes locked onto him. But something was off. Its expression wasn't threatening. It almost looked like it needed help. Still, the man knew better than to step outside. He just stood frozen, watching, until the creature vanished back into the trees. Bedroom intruder. A guy forgot to close his door, and that was a big mistake. While he slept, something strange crept into his room. It moved awkwardly, its limbs bent in weird ways, like it wasn't put together right. It wasn't just wandering, it was searching for food, for someone. It got closer to his bed, inching forward. But before anything happened, the video cut off. No one knows what came next. Did he wake up? Did it grab him? That question alone is enough to keep you up at night. CCTV horror. If you live near the woods, here's one rule. Don't go outside when you hear weird noises. One guy kept hearing strange sounds from his backyard. Instead of walking into a horror movie, he checked his CCTV. And guess what? A dark, shadowy figure was creeping around. Good thing his camera caught it, because now he knows for sure something was out there. Staying inside was the right move. Many humanoids. This next scene is straight up nightmare fuel. A guy pulled over on an empty street late at night. Everything was silent until he spotted something truly bizarre up ahead. Tiny figures, way too small to be normal people, were moving around. And they were walking on two legs. At first, it seemed like they were just playing, but then their movements got weird, almost like they knew they were being watched. Some viewers say they're just kids, but let's be real, guys. Kids running around in the middle of night? Yeah, right. Whatever these things were, they were up to something seriously creepy. Garden of Fear. A security camera caught something that totally freaked out the homeowner. It was just a normal night, but then this figure appeared out of nowhere and started smashing the garden fence. The camera got a good look at its face, and it was seriously creepy. Glowing eyes and a weird, unsettling expression. It was hiding behind the broken fence, and it was hard to tell what it was. Was it some kind of wild animal, or something even weirder? The homeowner was left with a lot of questions, but one thing was for sure. Their garden didn't feel so safe anymore. Disappearing woman. In Bogota, a security camera caught a chilling scene one night. A figure was walking down a quiet street, looking like a normal person. But then, it just disappeared into thin air. It was like the figure never existed. What's even creepier is that another camera across the street caught the same thing, proving it wasn't just a glitch. It was like a ghost, just vanished into nothingness. Maybe some roads are better left untraveled at night. You know, just to be safe. It's a pretty spooky thought. Abandoned asylum. This guy was exploring an old abandoned asylum, and at first, it was pretty calm. But then he started hearing these weird whispers that totally freaked him out. Next thing you know, some guy in old hospital clothes shows up out of nowhere. He was all scared and hid, hoping the dude would just walk by. But when he tried to leave, the guy was just standing right there in front of him. And then the camera just cut out, which is super creepy. Let's move towards our subscribers' pick of the day. Guys, now this one is seriously weird. A doorbell camera caught something late at night that no one was ready for. A creature that looked like a mix between an alien and an animal. It had 4 legs, but its face, completely human-like. Now that's the part that really messes with your head. The way it moved was just off, almost like it didn't belong in this world. I personally believe it could be a skinwalker, but others think it's something way worse. But here's the thing, guys. Why was it so close to someone's house? Was it just passing through, or was it looking for something? Or someone? Let me know what you guys think. Would you still open your door after seeing this? See you next time.